Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Ashen Casts. And today we are having a look at a game played on the Korean server, played by T1 Oner, the jungler for the Korean Super Org. T1, the org that is pretty much the most famous org in StarCraft, in League of Legends, with the most trophies on the wall and the most famous streamers signed to them as well. Obviously, you can't really say that for the West, but for Korea, that 100% goes. And also probably with one of the most based CEOs ever, so one that is capable of playing the social media game quite well, and I think does quite a bit here for T1. All right, those things aside, let's have a look at the matchup. In the top lane, we have a Shen for the red team facing off against a K'Sante in the blue. And it's going to be an interesting matchup, but however, I think K'Sante is going to wipe the floor with Shen. But, you know, I think Shen always stands a chance, always has an option. There are certain matchups that are unwinnable, but no tanks are unconquerable. Then in the jungle, we have Wukong on the red team, and on the blue team, we have a Talon, which is going to be interesting. And then on the red team, Zac mid lane facing off against Akali, and Neela and Zyra facing off against Draven and Ashe. So if this was Draven and Leona, I would actually be much more scared as the Neela. But here, Ashe will poke down the enemy team quite a bit, but other than that, this might be a little bit of a doozy. All right, heavy trading in the mid lane, obviously, as Mr. Oner is making, that is not Oner, Mr. Oner is making his way into the bottom side of the map here. Pretty standard clear. Talon will be doing a similar thing, and we will see how exactly that goes. Important to note that obviously Talon, not the best of clears. Wukong famous for also not having the best of clears, but ooh, we gotta be careful, Akali. Alright, Akali is kinda alive. But gotta be very careful here. Zac obviously just healing up, doesn't really care. Wukong, alright, inside of the jungle here. This is Oner realizing correctly that Talon's clear is unhealthy, and he bullies him out, places a ward, and he will find out what Talon is up to next. Talon decides to go for the Krugs here, I would assume. No, decides to go for the red buff now, as Oner has his smite on the ready and will take down Akali. Beautiful stuff here out of Oner, as he will take down the big chicken and then will take for himself a kill onto Akali already, which puts Oner at a comfortable over 1,000 gold, probably. Ooh, no, never mind. Actually, he didn't clear his bot side, so it probably puts him at like, yeah, probably puts him at 800 gold-ish. All right. Flash out of the Ashe, as Neela will be attacking her, will be taking her down. Is Draven able to counter-trade that? Yes, he is, but will he be able to take down the Syndra as well? The exhaust goes down, and he tries to take her down, but the flash out of the Syndra was way too good, and she created way too much distance, and so he will be taken down in the end. Still a decent trade for the Draven lane, as an even trade for Draven means a winning trade for Draven, as long as he gets the kill first before he dies, and this he did. So pretty decent situation for him. All in all, I think slightly winning here for the red team, if you consider the lane state and the fact that Draven obviously does want to trade 1-for-1 under previously named conditions. Decent little bit of poke here out of the Ashe. Gets herself some spectral sickle stacks. I was about to call them spell slinger stacks, but that is obviously not even the name of the AP support item, so I don't really know where I got that round from, but it is fine. It's obviously spell thieves, right? It is what it is. Ooh, Zyra looking really good trade here out of Zyra, and yeah, Draven is not going to be able to sustain this, as he did end up collecting a serrated dirk and a longsword. The lane not optimal for fighting here, but the goon squad has arrived. Oner and Zeg mid lane are here. Nila can try to jump away, but Wukong will take down a kill as Draven is just happily farming his minions here. Still a decent situation, obviously, for Draven, as he just gets a lot of pressure relieved. Kills go into the bank, and obviously his enemy opponent gets weaker as well. Decent situation overall for the red team. Solid ganks out of Oner, who decided to obviously go back into the bot lane and then clear that, and then did a gank together with Zeg. Something that is very classical is you push together and then you go roam together as well. The buddy system, obviously mid lane and jungle is a duo lane, no matter what you tell me. And so that worked out great. The other dual lane, a little bit weaker, as Akali doesn't really stand a chance versus the Zeg at the current point in time. Obviously, you can falter as Nila will take down Draven for a kill, but it is traded back. So she did take down Draven through Shen ult, which is quite impressive, I must say. But that is, yeah, I mean, that is a lot of damage coming out of a champion that only has a Vampiric Scepter. But, you know, what it is what it is. Draven lost all of his adoration. He is still in a decent situation if you look at the items, but he is nowhere near as dominant as he would want to be in this lane. As Nila, pretty good at forcing herself onto him, so she can stat check him, right, pretty quickly and just be like, okay, do you actually have enough damage to kill me, or do you not? This situation did not. I mean, it's a really tragic situation as well, as Nila obviously is able to dodge auto attacks out of AD carries, so, you know, a little bit of an issue. Ghost out of K'Sante. I don't know about this one. Oner will be able to get out of here, and that is just K'Sante going down now. Quite the unfortunate situation. Oner actually didn't have his flash though, so that was pretty clutch. Definitely was not in control in that situation, but Oner will be alive as the bot lane tries to poke here. But I really feel like the blue bot lane here has just so much stronger of a comp, especially once everyone hits level 6. It's going to be pretty decent. The only concern here might be the Ashe ultimate into Zyra, into ulting Zyra, but then again, right, and this is pretty sick, yeah, it's exactly right. Nila can just jump onto Zyra and make her invincible as well, so what are you going to do then, Draven, as most of the damage out of this obviously comes from the Draven, and that is a double kill for Nila and her support, being 3, 1, and 2. You do not shed a single tear or cry a single tear over your Zyra being able to collect Rylai's this early. Obviously, absolutely amazing situation for her. And Draven being even further behind, more adoration lost, as Talon hasn't really had any impact onto this game, to be honest. He's been farming up pretty well, at least, in comparison to Oner, but Oner definitely in the driver's seat this game so far. Let's see if Talon can run it back. So far, it doesn't look like it, as there is also a lot of tankiness on the enemy team. Didn't even proc the bleed onto the Shen. And that is a kill onto the K'Sante, taken once again by the blue team. Shen is the one who is going to be receiving that kill gold, which is very interesting, as we have a little bit of a Baron dance. Herald dance, but I don't know if that is entirely possible. Beautiful line here by Zac, just taking down the Akali. You can really tell that she doesn't know how to deal with Zac and how tanky Zac can get. Talon's still looking for an angle, but can't really find anything. And it is interesting that we are not going to be attacking the Herald here as the red team. K'Sante obviously has returned and Talon is still looming, but I would have considered this a pretty clear win if we wanted to take the Herald. Maybe everyone is pretty low HP though, so maybe that is the consideration. Wukong not really able to heal himself up in the jungle as of right now. I've heard that... Oh, Nila. I've heard that Wukong is currently sleeper OP, so we will put that to his test and we will find out whether or not that is actually true. Ooh, okay. decent. Shen could have given that to the Draven though. That would have been pretty big. So that is a little bit of a nitpick, but still it is a point. Ashe ultimate will miss as Zach is kind of looking for something here, which I find very interesting. Gotta be a little bit careful with this Akali. She isn't quite the marshmallow cannon anymore that she was, but Shen ultimate will come in, and that is going to be a ghost out of him as well. Flashed by Akali, and now it was all for naught. A little bit of an unfortunate situation here. Shen kind of desperate to get anything out of this situation, at least takes a grasp proc. Worth in my books, I would say, is we are diving the Zyra. Zyra will be able to flash out as Akali is looking for a kill onto the Shen, but Shen... Oh my god, dude. The Shen shield coming in clutch and... Wait. What? 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 No, it's actually the... It's actually the Akali items that are coming in clutch, and obviously the perfect execution. Not so perfect, given the fact that the perfect execution literally does negative damage. So 0-3-0 on this Akali. At least she is ahead in farm, I guess, Copium. As Neela will dodge auto attacks right now. The double dash will get her out, and this is Oner in a little bit of peril. He is invisible though, and he will be able to take down the Neela. Well, actually, it was Draven. However, this is a scary situation now with Akali still not having her perfect execution available, as Draven will take down Akali, and this Akali is just getting clapped wherever she goes. Ooh, fancy. All right, this is a ghost on the K'Sante. Will not take down... Ooh, interesting. If I was K'Sante, I would have taken the Zek over to be able to reach the Ashe, but apparently he doesn't want to, which I find very interesting. Pulls the Zek into the turret, but doesn't really do anything. And so now he's just kind of stuck with less HP than desirable, stuck under a turret. Interesting situation here. Obviously, Zyra would be there for a backup, but there's no dive available with these HP pools. And Talon will take down the dragon for himself, which puts the blue team in a decent situation with at least being able to get the dragon. They can lean back for a little bit longer, try to scale up and outweight the... What? Draven has Prowler's Claw. What? What? Guys? Alright, Draven is a melee champion now. Interesting. Do you reckon he intends on using that to dodge like Neela ult and stuff? Or do you think it's just a misbuy? It can't be just a misbuy, right? What, do you want to get Duskblade? I don't know. Kind of weird. Not seeing Eclipse on a Draven. Kind of weird. And then Prowler's Claw. Are you gonna Prowler's Claw onto Akali? I don't... There is no ability that I feel like it would make sense on, you know? But, it is what it is. A lot of damage taken by Ashe, but she will be alive. Decent damage dealt now by the Draven, though. Oner in a little bit of trouble here, but the Ashe W will come in clutch, and ooh, no kill taken by the Neela as she wastes her ultimate and goes down. The fight continues, however. Shen ultimate comes in clutch, saves once again one of his teammates. This time it was the Draven, and K'Sante in an awful situation here will be going down as well to the Shen, and that is a 7-1-3 Shen as Akali is being worked on by the full tank Zek, but I shouldn't point that out because let's be honest, Akali is a full tank as well. I don't know what that item build is, but ladies and gentlemen, this is freaking Grandmaster in Korea, so I don't know what exactly that is, but it is an interesting situation nonetheless. An absolutely amazing game so far by Oner as he buys a Hex Drinker for himself because he does realize that it is the Zyra who does quite a bit of damage, and obviously we are all scared of this Akali with that stat line and these items. That is going to be absolutely scary, right? Neela has gotten her shield bow, which puts her into a pretty solid situation. But ooh, Draven will probably still be able to pick up. I want to point out that I haven't seen him use Prowler's Claw yet once. And then he goes down to the Talon. Ooh, that's kind of unfortunate. Now you've put the Assassin back in the game. Kind of an unfortunate situation. But I mean, he did the Draven thing. He killed his enemy laner again. And that is finally the Heartsteel here available for Akali. Hasn't really been able to farm it, unfortunately. But there we go. 28 stacks. The value is real. 28 stacks. Already got plus 28 HP. And look at her damage, dude. She doesn't need the damage items anyway, as she did at least 10% damage to that Shen, who admittedly is also a little bit fed. Nilah will be taking out the Ashe support for herself. It is only a support, but it does give the same gold value nonetheless. And in the bot lane, the two tanks are fighting. Look at them, how cute they are. Said no one ever. All right, Oner clearing the top side jungle, and he is looping around here for a little bit of a collapse. Nilah still a little bit scary, but let me tell you who is absolutely defensive, and that is the Zyra. Ooh, even though Zyra used her flash and she does have the, what is it, Nimbus cloak, she still will be taken down as Akali goes down once again. The Heartsteel, unfortunately not quite enough to keep her in this game. Unfortunate, but unexpected. And Talon will be farming his jungle once again, the absolute meme of a farm jungler. He isn't really having a lot of impact, and I will be honest, I'm signing the petition for this blue team to surrender right now. If you have an Oner that is running all over your team like this, you have a fed Draven in the enemy team, and your Akali doesn't really care about the game, does she? Probably a good idea to get out, but Nilah doesn't think so. Nilah thinks this is still winnable. Let's be honest, Nilah is a pretty strong champion, but I think there are some games where it's also just not worth the work, and this would be one. Treading against windmills, not treadmills, but also treadmills, I suppose, but more of the windmill variety here, as she's literally the only one who is going to be scaling really well. Zyra does decently well, but Zyra stops scaling a little bit earlier and doesn't get as strong, and I don't think that Zyra and her are able to win these fights just on their own, as Talon finally decides to do something and will take down the support. If that isn't a victory, then I don't know what. Honestly, I think the surrender might have been preemptive, or would have been preemptive here, as Nilah will just take massive damage. Beautiful E by Draven, knocking the Nilah away from him. And that is Draven actually going down to the Cassandra. So this is looking pretty sick, but obviously it isn't only the Draven who is the threat here. The Oner is still here as well. Ooh, the W, the ultimate, and that is going to be a kill taken for the Wukong once again. I always say this is going to be a kill taken, and then I never know where to continue it. So that's definitely something that I need to have a look at in my casting. However, Akali now already has 80 HP stacked on her Heartsteel, so if that isn't worth it, I don't know what is. As Akali is feeling herself a little bit here, as the perfect execution will come out, and she did about 50% HP to this Wukong. Didn't even proc the Maw of Marmortius, but she also got another 20 bonus HP, so again, if that isn't extra 30, if that isn't worth it, I don't know what is. And we will see what exactly will come out of this game. I think in a perfect team fight where red team misplays everything and blue team hits really good Syndra, and I mean, I don't see it. I'm sorry. I know casters like to do this thing where they tell you, oh, it's still winnable for the blue team is still in the game. No, the blue team isn't really in the game. I don't know. Ever since Akali decided to build a Heartsteel, I think the value was just a little bit too much. and Riot had to rebalance it by, you know, just giving her super high ping, which would explain her decision making. Yeah, she's not going to be jumping in here. Yeah, okay, so she doesn't... She's actually seriously trying, kind of, though, right? Which is weird. Because I didn't feel like it. Alright, TP out of Shen, making sure that this will come through. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is not already the end of the game. No. No, it isn't. Alright. Ooh, a lot of damage dealt to Akali, but Akali will be able to get out for this time. Draven just looking for targets. Okay. Nila Ghost is out. Cleanse not available for her, and Wukong does incredible damage to her. She will be able to get out for now, but the Wukong Q, yeah, will find her eventually. Actually, was the E this time, as a beautiful perfect execution deals a whole like 10 damage immediately, getting Akali to safety as well. And obviously, it is a plus 30 in the comment section below as well. As, you know, we're just farming at this point. Whoa, huge 1k gold back for the Akali. Now she is surely back in the game. And ladies and gentlemen, this game is still winnable. It's not. Spoiler alert. It's not. Like, Wukong is 12-2. Like, it's not winnable. But, you know, we obviously, you know, we being the solo queue players that we are, we want to see this train wreck go out fully, and we want to find out how exactly this train wrecked, not just how about. We want to see all the gruesome details, all the little things, all the micro, all the macro decisions that were made. And also, I kind of want to know how many HP stacks Akali can get throughout the game here. If she is going to be able to get one Draven auto attack as bonus HP here on her item. So far, most definitely not the case. As Akali will not even find the support, goes down as Draven does collect her. This is Zyra going down as well, and there's not a lot of hope anymore. The last hope is going down as well, with incredible damage output here by the Draven, as Wukong picks up a kill again onto the Nila, and this is 4 members of the team down, as the red team will capture Baron and probably push in no time. 170 stacks here on Akali. This might very well be the final ones. Yeah, that is a surrender here out of the blue team, and Akali made it to 172 stacks. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching this cast. It has been Ash and GG, and I will sign out, and you stay awesome.